you the highlights of round one of the 2013 Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Championship, the Red Bull Hangtown Classic. From Sacramento, California, Jason Wygant here to give you the call. We'll start off with 450 Moto number one. Lots of hype, lots of excitement, lots of big names, and three of them are off to the races early. James Stewart grabs the motorcycle superstore.com whole shot. You got Ryan Villopoto and Ryan Dungey right there in the mix as well. Villopoto quickly around Stewart and into the lead on lap one. Josh Grant was in the mix, along with Dungey and the rest of the field, but there was simply no matching the number two in this one. Stewart was solid back there in second, but didn't seem to ride over his head to try to beat either of the Ryans. Dungey would get around Stewart as well, and those three would ride in formation the rest of the way. Simply no stopping Villopoto, the 2011 champion of the 450 class, proving he wants that title back in 2013, and he definitely has the skills to get it. Moved to Moto number two, and whatever Stewart did right off the start in Moto 1, well, he does it again, putting the Yoshimura Suzuki into the top spot with another motorcyclesuperstore.com whole shot. This time it's Dungey all over him on the Red Bull KTM. Dungey tried everything to get Stewart, 9 or 10 pass attempts with Villopoto and Trey Kennard behind them. But every time Dungey seemed to have a wheel on Stewart, Stewart had an answer and shut the door. Until finally, Dungey would make a mistake. At one point he ran into the back of Stewart. At another point he went off the track. Still couldn't make the move on Stewart. Stewart much stingier with the lead this time, and then one of Dungey's mistakes would open the door for Villopoto to take second, and he didn't mess around. He immediately went after Stewart to take over the lead, and just like he did in Moto 1, he pulled an insurmountable lead. Dungey would get around Stewart as well. He tried hard to maintain pace with Villopoto, but the three-time Monster Energy Supercross champ showing that he's just as fast here in motocross by going 1-1 in the 450 class against some really big hitters. Dungey and Stewart round out the podium for the day with Trey Kennard and Justin Barcia 4th and 5th. 250 class, this group is deep in talent as well. Some old names, some new. Off the start, a surprise. Blake Baggett, your defending series champ, coming into this race with a really bad wrist injury and not known for his starts, pulls the first whole shot of the year. Soon has company from the number 25 of Marvin Musquin on the Red Bull KTM. Musquin would get around him and take over the lead. There's Eli Tomac and one of the rookies, the 175 of Cooper Webb, inside the top 5 early. Once Musquin had the lead from Baggett, it looked like he might be the rider to beat in this moto as they tussled for the number 1 spot, but soon it would not be the KTM of Musquin to watch. It'd be the number 94 KTM of Ken Roczen. You see him in the back there. He would find the afterburner switch and start moving forward. He'd have to get around Webb, the rookie. Then he had to deal with Tomac and Baggett on the 17 and the 1. Great battle between Tomac and Baggett, but soon Roczen was around Baggett, and then soon Roczen would challenge Tomac and take over the number 2 spot. Then Roczen would take over the lead from Musquin, and Tomac would challenge the Frenchman as well, with Baggett in tow. Tomac would take second, leaving Baggett and Musquin to fight over the number 3 position, and Baggett would put the Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki in front of him to take third. Right behind them, Darren Durham on the 44 and the 175 Webb in his first pro race had a great battle to try to fight for a piece of the top 5. No stopping Roczen. Once he had the lead, he continued to extend it. Tomac finished second, Baggett in third. We'll go to Moto number 2. A lot of riders looking to bounce back here. One of them is the 167 of Zach Bell on the Geico Honda. He pulls a huge motorcyclesuperstore.com whole shot in this second moto, but quickly swallowed up by the pack. Baggett, another good start, would take over the early lead, but then Roczen on the 94 would get around him again, and from there the Red Bull KTM rider set sail. Baggett a little bit stronger in this one. We keep Roczen honest. They would soon build up a gap over the rest of the field. Zach Osborne back in third, Blake Wharton, Musquin. Osborne and Musquin would then come together, allowing Tomac to slide through and put himself into a podium position, battling with Jason Anderson on the number 21 for it. Tomac would eventually get to third, but he was just too far back to challenge Baggett and Roczen up front. Second half of the race, Baggett mounted a charge. He got Roczen back within his sights, and we thought for a moment the old El Chupacabra late race charge style from Baggett would carry him to the lead. Not this time. Roczen just too strong on this day, and he's going to go 1-1. And the German will have his first overall win ever in pro motocross here in the United States. Baggett and Tomac will join Roczen on the podium, setting up a great championship tour for the rest of the year. And the women's motocross Triple Crown begins here at Hangtown. You might think you know the names to watch in WMX, but we're going to throw some new ones on the pile. Maybe I could even say some shrimps on the Barbie. Watch closely. Mackenzie Tricker, an Australian, up front early in the number 28, and then a New Zealander, the 151 of Courtney Duncan on a YZ125, takes the lead and pulls away for the rest of the field. Tricker on the 28, battling with Japan's Sayaka Kaneshiro for the number 2 spot. There is Courtney Duncan, 17 years old. Yeah, making that YZ125 sing. Kaneshiro and Tricker would have a good battle for the podium. Some other familiar names getting up in the mix. You had Pearson, and the number 2, of course, is Jessica Patterson. But Patterson would run into bike problems, not finish the moto. And Courtney Duncan wins big. Wow. Let's go to moto number 2. Okay, now they know what the Kiwi's going to throw at them. Now they'll be ready for it, right? Jessica Patterson gets off to the early lead in this one. Tricker and Kaneshiro are second and third. Then Duncan would get to second, and then Duncan would, yes, get around Patterson. And with riding like that, pull away. This girl was talking about the area and regional qualifiers she was doing for Loretta Lynn's, and then decided to come out here and whoop the best and take the overall win with 1-1 scores on a YZ125 against 250Fs. Get to know the name, Courtney Duncan. That's it from Hangtown. Now we're going to Colorado for the Rockwell Thunder Valley National. Go to allysports.com for more information on that event next Saturday.